Hey everybody, welcome to another Player's Choice Flex Night. We're pretty excited here. I'm Jason Wapshall, owner of Player's Choice. We're here with my man Mike. He's a podcaster and everything else in town, kind of all over the place. He's different stuff. You just see this guy everywhere. But more importantly, he's a number 99 fan. He's a Gretzky fan. So he's the guy I thought that we definitely had to be part of the show. We've got a whole pile of Gretzky rookies. We're going to go with him today. He's got questions of different ways to tell how they're real, the tops, OPG, autograph stuff, just a bunch of different questions. I thought, you know what, might as well run it like an interview type thing, look at them and see what's going on. Sound like a plan?
Jay, I'm so happy to be here.
It's awesome.
I love hanging out with you anytime we get to hang out and shoot the bull about all sorts of stuff when it comes to hockey on and off the ice, memorabilia of all different sports and genres and pop culture. Player's Choice is so amazing. With the selection that you guys have, I love what the identity that you have carved out here, and what you sell. So I can't wait to do this with you. Thank you very much for having me.
We'll see how this goes. We just started our Player's Choice Flex Night, so we're kind of gonna just go into people's collections, go into things, show them different stuff.
Yeah, well, when you talk about Gretzky, I want to be.
We're working on maybe a Gretzky type wing in the office kind of thing. So when that's all done, in this summer, maybe we'll have another Gretzky show and we'll go from there.
Cannot wait.
Okay, cool. So what do you got today to show you, by the way?
Yeah.
We got 12 graded Gretzky rookies.
This is crazy. So when I was a kid, and we were shooting hockey cards, okay, it was the year when it was really big in my elementary school, where it was like the OPG where it had the little circle in the corner.
84-85.
84-85,
yeah.
Okay. And
You're old.
Hey man, absolutely. So Gretzky was still an Oiler back then. It was before he went to my boys, the Kings. And so that was the year. And every once in a while, somebody would show up and say, hey, here's this card of Wayne Gretzky when he was 17. And I actually saw people put him up against the wall and like shoot cards at it. And if it knocked it down, they got to keep the card. Like I actually saw that happen. That's this card. This card here was a picture taken of Gretzky before the Oilers were even in the NHL. That's his rookie card.
This is a rookie card, 79-80 OPG. So a little bit of background for me. So I was born in 80.
Okay.
You know what? My parents got me skating when I was like 3. Huge, like Gretzky fan before I can even think back and know. But I remember when Gretzky got traded, when he the press conference in LA. So I was, 8 years old, 9 years old. I remember bawling my eyes out. And I remember taking all my Gretzky cards to school and get rid of them. They're gone. I didn't want anything to do with them. So who knows what my mom had, whatever. Who would have thought?
I think I was the only happy Canadian on that day.
Who would have thought years and years later that these things would be worth? Well, we wouldn't have known. We always knew the Gretzky rookie was going to be so much money, but in the last 6 months or whatever, the Gretzky's have just gone. Not only Gretzky, sports cards in general have gone bonkers.
Right.
Well, Pokemon cards, hockey cards, sports cards,
and okay, so if that's
crazy.
happening, if the hockey cards are going up like crazy, all these different pop culture cards are going up like crazy, you would think elite players like the Gretzky or Michael Jordan or some of these other elite players would be kind of at the top of that list, right? Is that the case, or is it ever? There are some athletes that aren't necessarily top tier, but the cards are a little bit more rare and they go up too. Is it both of those things or a combination?
Mostly what we tell and what we try to invest in, and with brokers, and we have people in all the time, like, hey, I've got $50,000 I want to invest. I would say invest in the GOATs, like the greatest of all times.
Okay.
Like you want the Brady, you want the Jordan, you want the Gretzky, you want the Woods. Those are the guys you want. But you also like the guys where the ceiling is so much farther to go. You want the guy that could be like Gretzky.
Okay.
So McDavid, Alexei Lafreniere's got a rookie coming out November 18th with Upper Deck in Series 1.
Right.
There's so much.
So that's speculation on it,
there's so many people already saying like his young gun's going to be $200 to $300 out of the wrapper. He's not even going to play a game to January, and people are already willing to spend more money than an Eisman rookie or a Wall rookie or whatever on this guy. So so the spec is crazy there.
But the GOATs, there's no spec necessary. There's no speculation because they have that career. Some of these players in their rookie year, they get a big injury or something like that. They don't play. Like I think about remember Eric Lindros?
Yeah.
And how they were calling him the next one because Gretzky is of course the great one. Great one.
Yeah.
And they were saying that Eric Lindros was going to be the next one. Now I'm not diminishing the career of Eric Lindros even a little bit. The guy, amazing hockey player, is a force of nature. But where are his cards?
Absolutely. In the trash.
You know,
not in the trash, but you know what I mean?
No,
sorry,
compared
Lindros
to-
collectors, they're not there. Like a Lindros rookie card's about 50 cents to $1. So
Okay.
let's be honest.
Okay.
It's not even. His cards were in a bad time. 1990, they produced,
Right.
oversaturated the market, anyways. Whereas the older stuff. They didn't. What was out there was out there, and the newer stuff like 2005 and up. Little print runs and production and numbers and serial numbers and autographs and stuff have changed the landscaping of the hobby.
Okay,
so
let's go back to the Gretzky for that, because you've got a stack of them here.
Yeah.
A stack of Gretzky rookie cards, and I'm looking at this going, this is not just thousands, this is tens of thousands of dollars here.
We're getting into that.
Stack.
So I've got them ranged. They're all graded. The ones we're looking at today are all graded.
Okay, so we've got this stack.
This is the first one. So this is a PSA 2.
Okay, hold on. I want to ask a couple questions about this before you plop it up there.
Here, I'll put it so these guys can see it at home.
So a 2, that's a low rating.
Low rating. The scale goes out of 10.
Okay. I got a couple questions.
Yep.
When I was a kid, this was always what the card looked like, but there were 2 companies that you could get hockey cards for. There was OPG and there was Topps.
That's correct.
The ones that I always got were OPG. I don't know if that's all a Canadian thing, American thing. Like, what's the difference?
So OPG was made in Canada. Topps is made in the States.
Okay.
OPG has the French on it. So if you look in the back, you're going to have the wording. There's the French on there.
Yeah.
And the Topps is made in the States. It didn't have the French.
So which card is worth more?
The OPG is worth more.
Okay.
But surprisingly, in the last 6 months, the Topps has gained probably more. Like when I say stuff's gone up in the last 6 months, we're talking. I was selling 2s for $200 to $300, like the card you're seeing now. I was selling those at the last Toronto show in November. Now this card's $1,500 to $2,000.
That card is $1,500 to $2,000
at a minimum.
Range.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And when there is a range,
that's a 2.
That's a 2. When there is the range on the grading, you will see the difference. There's no such as a 3's a 3, a 2's a 2 kind of thing.
Okay.
There's like better quality or of the grade. So you could have like a really nice 8 that's not quite an 8.5, or like an 8 that was probably a 7.5 that's an 8. So you'll see that difference.
Man.
So the prices aren't always smack on, and it is hard for the new collector to realize that grade isn't always that great. If that makes sense? Does that make sense?
It does. It begs a couple other questions. Now, number one, they're saying that this card is worth a certain amount, a range, $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah.
Are they actually selling?
Absolutely. The Gretzkys are like the blue chip stocks in our industry. They're always gone. Everybody wants them. I mean, we've sold as many years ago. We sold 18 to one guy at one time. 18.
Okay, so that guy's
you know what? I should give him a call. I bet you his stuff crazy, right? Because that was years ago. He's going to be so happy. I should remind me to call him. So where you see stuff, so like this is a 2. Hopefully you guys have had a good chance to have a look at it. I'm going to show Mike back the 2 again, and then I'm going to put up this 3. So I've got 2 3s here. So this is the first 3 I want you to look at.
Okay.
If you notice this first 3, I'll show it to you after. It's a little, you can see the top right corner is a little fuzzy and the edge is down. Hopefully you can see that on the computer. I'm going to show it to you now. And now I'm going to put up a card that's graded a 3 as well. Hopefully you guys can see the difference in between these 2 3s. Like 1 3 is really, really nice. Undergraded, perhaps they say. I mean, it's always funny on eBay. You always see a graded card, and everybody's like undergraded.
Right.
Nobody ever goes, "Oh, they overgraded this." That 3 that you have in your hands is possibly an overgraded 3. I think it's closer to like a 2.5.
Okay.
Where this 3 is probably a 4 to a 5. So they do have bad days. They are a little inconsistent with the grading, and we do see that. Nobody's perfect.
So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
A 2 is considered good.
Yes.
A 3 is considered very good. Now, you said there's potential differences between the 3s, and the naked eye also has some. There's a lot of factors that are way above my pay grade. So, but I'm going to ask a question. If this is a $1,500 to $2,000 range of a card, what is this range?
So
this
3 that you're looking at right now is probably like $1,800 to $2,500. But this 3 here that I just showed you guys, I wouldn't probably sell that less than $3,000.
Look at the corners.
Look at how sharp it is. Look how clear it is.
Oh man,
I'm gonna put up a 4 to show you guys. I'll show Mike this one next.
This one was not thrown up against a wall.
No, like look how nice that is compared to that 3. So see what I mean? They do the same thing. So there is sometimes when you see a person's going, "Oh, I could get this 6 for this price," and they have it for that. You really still have to look at the condition of the card.
Right.
It's not like that label's not in everything. You know what I mean?
In this business, because I mean, again, we're going way down the rabbit hole compared to what I have seen. A are there people that would take a look at this and go, okay, and they would go back and say, I want this thing regraded?
Absolutely.
That happens.
Yeah, it gets cracked out. Stuff will get cracked out. Hopefully they don't clean it. They'll catch. They've got things to catch if somebody's trying to pinch out a corner or shave an edge. They've got ways to tell.
Oh, like hockey card restoration here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's
kind
what
of like
guys
a chop
will
shop
do.
for hockey cards.
Yeah. So there's all different things. I mean, when guys back in the day, they would cut a little bit of fuzz off the corner or whatever off the edge and make it look better, and then they could just put it and squeeze it back out and make it back the same size. They've got things to catch that now and stuff, and that's why you're buying Gretzky rookies. If any of you guys are interested in a Gretzky rookie, I highly recommend buying a graded card by PSA or Beckett. Raw is a risky deal these days.
So you just bring up something that twigs a memory with me. Hockey cards in the 90s, I remember there was this magazine that you could get. It was called the Beckett magazine. You get it once a month, I think. You could buy it at like the drugstore and all that stuff because hockey cards were really big back then. So Beckett actually grades cards, and so does PSA.
That's correct.
What's the difference between the two?
So PSA is more of a vintage leader in the grading. There's a lot more. I don't want to call us old because we're getting old, but a lot of older collectors like us that PSA.
That's okay. We're worth more.
There you go. Yeah, we're more collector's plates.
Yeah. We're vintage editions.
Whereas the older stuff is more PSA, and the newer stuff, like as a general rule, 89 and back, I like PSA.
Okay.
And 90 and newer, I like Beckett.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, but baseball is a little different because baseball, a lot of the guys like the older PSA, even the newer rookies. But if it's an autograph, they like Beckett because Beckett runs a subgrade for the autograph.
Well, and I never did see the Beckett magazine focusing on the OPG cards. I saw Beckett magazine when Upper Deck and Score and Pro Set and all these other different companies were out there. So that kind of makes sense to me. Okay,
yeah.
Very cool.
We use now like Sports Card Investor and like old auction sites and history to track values more than the price guide because they still I don't know, I haven't looked at a hockey Beckett for a while. Sorry, Dr. Beckett, but they probably have Katie's passing us one right now.
Oh, hey.
They probably still have. I'm just gonna look it up. They probably have a Gretzky in here. I bet you it's still $800.
I'm looking at this. So let's do a 3. Which got a 3 here?
So they won't show the condition on that. So if you look 79.80, and you look up card number 18, there's Wayne Gretzky. They still got it at $800. So you can't use this price guide knowledge nowadays. Like the price guide is so out to date.
So if you can find a Wayne Gretzky rookie that's very good for $800, you can buy that right now.
You know what? As long as it's not ripped in half, you're probably okay.
Somebody finds that card. If somebody finds that card, buys it for $800, and they come in here.
Yeah.
And you know what it is, and you see it.
Yeah,
you're gonna take it off their hands.
They're happy. We buy them all the time.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so this is the four. I'm going to show it.
PlayersChoice.com.
PlayersChoiceSports.com.
PlayersChoice.
Follow us on Facebook or the links.
This is a 4.
I'm going to put up a 5 here to show you. So that's a 4 we just got back.
Before we get to that, this was the thing that I always had heard and have seen since I was a kid, that the Wayne Gretzky rookie card is famous for being off-center.
Crazy off-center.
So this one is a 3, not off-center at all. And I thought that actually without saying anything. But now that I see this one is off-center, but it's still
gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with that card except for the center.
So very good.
Excellence. Yeah,
excellence.
VG to excellence.
Okay,
so you'll go VG excellent, and then you'll fire into the excellence. The difference on that one is just the centering.
Okay.
So that is the main thing. I get people all the time, like when they see Gretzky at PSA 10 sell for $200,000 or $300,000, they're like, Jason, I've got one. I'll split it with you. It's like, you don't have it. Like they'll text you a picture of one that's been like in their back pocket for an hour. Like you just it's not the same.
Okay.
It's common disbeliefs of the Gretzky's and stuff you see all the time. It's like we might see 100 Gretzky rookies a year, and every single one is different every time. And
interesting.
It's such a unique card. The centering, the blue, the chips, the stories. I haven't even got into the back. I don't even know if I've got any first editions to show you here.
First editions. Wait, what was the first edition?
So on the Gretzky's, it's a common. See right there, perfect example. See the blue line below his skate stick there, and how it's not there. So this blue line, a lot of people don't
see that. There's a little cartoon there.
Yeah, we'll put it up on here and show you. Yep. Knocking that down.
There's a little cartoon there.
We'll put this back up here.
Sure. So there's a little cartoon here of Gretzky in the top corner there, and there's a little skate animation on one of them, and it's not on the other one.
See the blue line below?
So which one's the first edition?
So nowadays, I don't know if I can show this on here. Does that show up on there, that blue line? Can you see that blue line right below
see
his
that right
skates?
now?
Can you see it in there? Just through the puck and his skates. That's what they're calling like a first edition Gretzky, like the blue lines. It's tough to tell. Maybe we'll post some pictures up of it after.
But that increases the value.
So
if
that
it's got
right
that.
now is increasing the value a ton compared to what a lot of the other ones are fetching. And it's not even 100% proven. It's not even 100% proven that means the first line. It could have been something could have just fell on the thing.
Right.
We need to adjust this so it works.
Yeah,
here.
let's adjust that,
Is that
so,
good there?
so they can see it in the second cam.
Okay, how do you want to make it work?
What are we doing? Going left or right?
Perfect.
There you go.
Okay,
All right,
there you go.
We're back on.
So yeah, there you go. So nothing.
That's cool.
So there's 2 5s right there. So similar as the 4s. You can see the difference.
Isn't it nice
in
to
the
have a
5s.
production team out
Yeah,
there?
yeah, they can help
I love
us.
it.
It works.
Oh man,
It's
we're
like-
doing good.
Maybe we'll
This is
start the
fantastic.
phone. They can call in. And just
Oh
buy
man, can we do a
podcasts.
call-in show?
Call-in show?
Let's do that.
Katie's like,
No, they're like, no. The production team is like, no.
Let's
No
not do that.
call-ins. Oh,
So
okay.
these are 5s here. I'm going to switch modes a little bit. I'm going to show you the 6, and then I'm going to put up a Beckett graded 6 just so they can see the difference of the graded. So you'll see the difference in the quality
this
of the
one is
card.
a first
jumps,
edition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so the
that's-
quality of the card jumps up quite a bit. And that 4, 5, and 6s. These 6s are fetching right now probably around 5,500, 6,000 for a 6, somewhere in there. And again, only like a year ago we were selling those for maybe $1,000.
$6,000 right here.
And we got to get to the
It's a
expensive.
down payment on a Durango right there.
Wait,
Right there.
wait till we get to the expensive ones. So these are 6s and a halves. I'm going to show you this 6. Oh, there's 2 6 and a half. So I'll show you the difference. See the 6 and a half compared to the PSA 6 and a half. There's a little bit of difference on the quality and the grading.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes down to this human nature in the eye, right? Of what they see.
See, I like this one better because to me, I don't know if you can see that here or not, or if I'm just, but I'll explain it. The quality of this picture seems higher than the quality of this picture. This one here looks a little more like washed out than this one does, and that's really, really interesting to me. If I were on my naked eye, if I were to say, "Oh, what's the higher grade card?" It'd be that
You
one.
take the 6.
I would.
And it's all dependent on people's budget and what quality and what
Yes.
they would like. This is a 7 that I'm showing now. Here's another 6 and a half. Even if you compare those 2 6 and a halves, look at the centering. Look how blue it
Very
is.
much so.
Look at different. Oh, am I off again?
Okay.
You just gotta move it forward a little bit.
Little bit
Okay,
forward.
there.
Keep moving it forward.
Okay.
No, forward.
Forward
is like
towards-
closer.
Towards the camera.
Oh, that one's broken.
There went the down payment for a Durango.
There with the Durango.
That's okay.
I
We're
love
on to
this.
this 8.
I
Let's
love this.
just.
This
We
is
got
great.
Grexys all over the place. We can throw them on the floor.
We're throwing Wayne
We're gonna
Gretzky's
work
like
on this.
canned hams.
We're gonna
folks.
work on this camera thing for
Gretzky
next time.
rookies.
Here's an
Oh,
8.5.
good.
How's that? Is that showing up better?
Yeah, just
That
tilt
was-
it to the side of
That
it.
was
8 and a
only a
half.
7. Nobody wanted the
Do
8.
not drop this
That was
one.
only a 7. Nobody wanted the
Okay,
7.
you're
This
good.
is an
Let's
8.5.
just leave it.
Okay, so this is an 8.5. I acquired this last year. This is my own collection. This is the beauty of this one. So I'm going to show it to you in a second. This is the kind of car that's gone up crazy amounts in the
Okay.
last little while. So like we're like more than 20 grand for this. So they've really gone
It's
up a
gonna let
lot.
you hold that.
Yeah, so look at it, don't drop it, don't throw it on the floor like we just threw that
I
7.
didn't bring my
That's
gloves.
okay.
I
Maybe
didn't
we'll run
bring
the
my gloves,
contest for a
sorry.
broken 7. I don't know.
Wow.
So that's an 8.5. So you can see the difference.
By the
It
way,
jumps
kids,
up quite
that's
a
why
bit
you
there.
put it in hard plastic.
Yeah, that's why
you
it's
do
in
it
the
right there.
case.
Okay, kids.
Pass me that 7 back so I can
Jeez
show Mike the
Louise.
difference between the 7 and the 8.
Yeah, let's see.
Perfect
this.
there. So there's this, compare the 7 to the 8, you can see just how much crisper it is and nice in the
Yeah,
corner.
even the edges look
Yeah.
crisp.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the corners, but the edges of the card
So
look
it's
crisp.
just a nice clean
There's a
card.
question I have for you based on that. I met somebody once who had, it wasn't this year, it was the next year with like the yellow back.
Yeah.
Okay. He had an entire uncut sheet and it had all the Oilers on
80,
there.
81.
Yeah, and he had an entire uncut sheet. So it was all the cards, they just hadn't been cut yet. Could those be cut and used as real hockey cards at this point, or are they
That's the
considered
cards.
No, they're not.
Those
Like,
are the ones they're trying to weed out. They're trying to not grade those ones. So Beckett
Okay.
was grading sheet cut cards for a while. They don't anymore. PSA has never cut the sheet cut cards. You're actually looking for this rougher edge on the Gretzky. See that one, how it's got a rougher edge?
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
actually
yeah.
put up a really nice one here for these guys.
you got a 9.
There's a 9. Let's not drop this
That's
one.
a rare card.
This is a super rare card. This is a 9. I don't want to drop this one.
Because there aren't a lot of 9s and 10s out there relatively.
There's
are there?
only, like, PSA wise, there's only like 2 10s ever. I don't know if there's any Beckett 10s. This one here is less than I want to say there's less than 80. I should look up the pop report on it.
Okay.
You're probably in the.
There's not a lot though.
You're probably in the $75,000 plus on this card here, on this 9. So
no.
yeah,
Wow.
so this is a decent card.
My man, Wayne
I'll
Gretzky.
show it to you. We'll put it back up. I'm going to show you the 8.5, and then we'll put the 9 back up as we look at this 9. So this.
Yeah, this looks like
So
it came right out of a pack.
So see how it's got that rough edge there? You're
Yeah.
looking for that. A lot of people, inexperienced, especially in the older, in the 80s and stuff, vintage, they see that edge and they run away from it. But you got to remember, they were cutting the gum and then they were cutting the cards with like the same wire, right? Like if you got your card cut in the morning when the ladies came in and they were smoking off the line and doing their cutting the gum.
I like to
You
smoke
got-
off the
you
line
know,
every once in a while.
I've got an old. I got an old video of it was in the 50s, and they're smoking and cutting the gum with the wire and then cutting the cards. And I'm trying to get a buddy so we can show it on our YouTube special. Maybe if we get enough people asking for it, we will. It is the coolest video if you're a card nerd like me. It's like just see it. So that's a 9 there.
badass.
So here's the 8 compared to that 9 again. So look at
Yeah,
the difference.
I can
So
already.
see, you can see the difference, right? Like this 9 is that nice clean with the rough edge, a little better centering. It is a superb card, but again, not a lot of people are going to go buy that kind of cards. I've been investing in Gretzky quite a bit lately. It's not just the cards though that I love.
Well, and you're reading my mind because I mean, there's these cards are incredible. There's a lot of people out there obviously who don't have Gretzky rookies and they don't have a line on an old collection of Gretzky rookies or things like that. But there's so much other Gretzky stuff. I mean, I'm a Kings
The
guy.
jerseys.
I'm a Kings guy. Yeah. So
That's a signed Gretzky jersey right there.
okay. So Upper Deck
Yes.
is because I've got a signed Kings Gretzky jersey on my office wall, but it was from a company called Wayne Gretzky Authentic.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, a bunch of headlines were made in the collecting world when Wayne Gretzky came over to Upper Deck, and now Upper Deck is releasing these amazing Wayne Gretzky pieces that I never even like. I'm looking
Like
at
stuff
that.
like that. If you can see that,
That's
I don't know if they
Wayne-
can catch
that's
that in the
Wayne's
shot.
autograph right there.
Yeah.
A massive version of it.
So that's charcoal signed on the archival paper on the canvas, and then they inlay the image over top of them. There is an LA Kings one as well.
I've seen.
Yeah, so they're pretty nice. We've sold it. I believe this Gretzky one might be done now. So what happens is they'll make stuff for a little while and then. It's
So are you
gone.
even going to sell that one?
This one's my own. I've got an order for one more for a customer, and I think it's gone. We just had these cool Gretzky gloves come
The old
in.
Jofa gloves,
And
man.
my Upper Deck rep actually said those were the last ones available, so I might take these home. So the Gretzky stuff is
Wow.
disappearing. So if you're looking to buy the memorabilia, the jerseys, the autos, and stuff, it is the place to get it. The Upper Deck, you'll know it's
Okay,
got
so
the Upper
yeah,
Deck
this is,
hologram.
yeah.
It's got the paperwork with it, much like this cool one here behind you, like that
So-
anniversary shot.
So there's a couple things. Now this is a game quality LA Kings jersey that I bought way back in the day when Gretzky was traded over to the Kings. It was a couple years later. Now here's the thing though. While it is a game quality jersey, it's got the fight strap and all that. If you look, there's 1 CCM on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's because I bought this game jersey and then we got the Gretzky kit to put on it, and I made it into I had someone make it into a Gretzky jersey. With these ones,
Double tag.
it's a double tag, and I don't know if you knew this or not. It's because Wayne Gretzky liked to tuck he liked to tuck his jersey, and it helped with his shooting, and it became like kind of a superstition thing. But he tucked in the CCM, right? He tucked in the CCM into his hockey shorts, and so CCM just for Gretzky, for his jerseys, they put a dual CCM.
Yeah.
And I thought that's the coolest little piece of hockey history. I love that. And when you get a Gretzky jersey with the dual CCM, you know you're getting.
But now it hides
Now it
marketing,
is.
and now they use it. These jerseys are becoming extremely hard to find.
Are they really?
Yeah, so they've
Okay.
gone up an absolute ton of money. I think they're like $2,000 US right now.
Oh
for the
wow!
signed jerseys.
Hey, do they have the Burger King LA Kings?
They do have
I
that
need to-
one
I need
too.
to get
Yeah,
one of
you
that.
can order that one.
I need to get
So-
me a Burger King.
And
jersey.
even that, I think we just got an email. They're discontinuing that, so I think they're gone too. So I'd have to check and see, but I think that
Can you
one's
make a call
gonna,
for me?
that one's going to be
Can you
gone.
make a
So.
call for me?
So, anyways, that's a little bit of Gretzky stuff.
That's a lot of bit of Gretzky
You know,
stuff.
just some rookies and some memorabilia. We've got lots of other memorabilia and
And
stuff.
you have
for
all
different
sorts.
things.
Yeah, you have all sorts of stuff. Now I knew that I was doing this tonight. I was really excited. We got the Gretzky whiskey and all the just.
This is a regular
amazing-
surface for us. Yeah.
Oh,
On the
beautiful.
Flex show. It's
Beautiful,
nice,
beautiful.
nice.
And we've been partaking and we'll continue to partake. But I knew I was going to do this. So I've had this for about 20 years. and it's just been in my home office,
Yeah.
just hanging out. And I got to tell you, I'm a little worried about something.
Okay.
I've heard that there are counterfeit Wayne Gretzky cards
There
out
is.
there. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Lots and lots of them. More counterfeit than real, unfortunately.
Are you able to spot them?
Yeah, I can tell you right away.
You can tell me right away?
Yeah.
Because I got me my own Gretzky rookie that's
Okay.
been in my office for a long time. It's off center. I have no idea what it's worth, but I did put it in the hard plastic back in the day, and it's been displayed. For the love of God, please don't tell me this is
So
a
you want me to
counterfeit
tell
card.
you if this is real or fake?
And just give it a look. See, if I were to walk in off the street and hand it over and say, and you were to take a look at this card, what would your honest to goodness response be? And
Well, I'd
Go
probably
check.
find the guy that sold it to you and tell him thanks. At least you got a real one. So you did get a real one. The biggest tell on the Gretzky is to see that white dot on the shoulder. So if you actually look on that dot on that left
Hey.
shoulder there's a dot on there. Here I'll put Mike's card up here to show you guys. We can see.
Real Gretzky.
You know what? Maybe what we'll do for Mike is we'll get this graded and we'll see what it comes back at. So unfortunately, it's not going to grade super high. You're
No.
seeing how rough they are on
I
twos
am.
and threes and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but before you came and learned this, what did you think you had?
Oh man, I would have thought that card. Okay, so if you look at the corners are actually pretty good on it.
Yeah.
That's something that my untrained eye would just automatically. But I did see it off center.
Yeah.
I probably would have called that in my untrained eye a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking, oh my God, we'd be lucky to hit 2.
That's
And I don't know-
exactly.
I don't
you
know
know,
if that's
the
gonna
biggest,
happen or
the
not,
biggest nick. I don't see if these guys can see it on the camera. Or
It's
not.
got a ding
But
in
there's
it.
a dent there.
Somebody probably
as soon
shot
as
it
you
off
get
the wall.
As soon as you get the dents and that
damn it.
off centering and stuff like that,
Okay.
you can see now that you know it's not a first.
It's not a first edition Gretzky
and the
either.
edge is pretty rough. So you probably I'd be guessing.
And
you
not in
get
the good way. It's not
That's
rough in the good way.
no. You
No.
probably. I'm guessing you get about a 2 on it. But
Okay.
at least it's a real one. It's
Okay.
worth a couple grand still.
Which blows me away. And I mean, it's a dead guy card
Yeah.
because the only way someone's getting it is when I'm dead.
There
So,
you go.
so
Yeah,
it's
so
not like
that's
I'm
the
gonna
way they
sell
put it
but,
away. Yeah.
But very cool. This
So-
has been so educational for me.
Fun.
I appreciate you so much. Anytime I get a chance to do stuff like this with you, I will jump at that opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the stuff that you do. And my gosh, you sell all over the place too, right? Like you can mail order, big mail order
Facebook and
business.
YouTube and eBay and everything. Our website, playerschoicesports.com, took off with COVID. And
Yep.
eBay, we're packaging out. I can't tell you how many hundreds of items a day.
If
So
there's
it's
any
different.
wives out there, okay? If any wives are watching, I highly doubt that right now. But
They might be going,
if
what
there
are
are
you listening
any wives
to?
that are watching this video at this and have gone this long, please, for the love of God, if you're gonna buy your husband or your son a present, call this guy. Okay, like no more ties, no more dress shirts. No. Call this guy. This guy has got the ultimate man gift experience.
I
here.
appreciate that.
the
It's
truth.
funny you mentioned that because years ago, a lady came in and Christmas Eve was panicking for a Christmas present for her husband. And I said, oh, what do you want to spend? She's like, I want to spend about $5,000 and I want to be on Gretzky. And I sold her one of the nicest Gretzky rookies I ever had. And I'd love to know who she was or to get it graded or to see what it is because that thing had to be a 9. And a 9's like $120,000 or something for a PSA 9 now. So I would be pretty nice to see that card come back and get it graded. So that guy was a lucky guy for sure. But we appreciate having you on. We're going to do more of these shows. We'll see how the feedback is, and we're going to just keep going
Yeah.
on,
If I
doing
grade
people.
well, invite me
Yeah,
back.
if you
Please
grade
do.
well, we'll have
Please
you back.
invite me
Okay. Cheers, Mike.
Oh,
Appreciate
to you,
that.
to Player's
Okay.
Choice. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank you.
To number 99.
Hey, there you go.
Gretzky.
Wayne's always a good one. Thank you.